Hey, my name is Violet Price. I'm doing video blogs about the process of making my film. My film wrapped let's see, about a week or two ago. It was very intense. It was 14, 18 days of full time, 7 days a week. Everything felt high stakes. Everything felt intense. Things go wrong. Money gets fucked up. Actors drop out. It was intense, but we crushed it. It was amazing. Every single scene in the movie turned out good except one, which we can either reshoot it or it wasn't the most important scene. Although we're definitely reshooting it because I'm in it and I'm not cutting myself out of my own movie. That's not happening. And I don't know. It's a cheap reshoot too. The whole thing happened to be shot in my apartment with the two actors who live locally and with like minimal lights. So if there were one scene that would need a reshoot, and it doesn't necessarily need a reshoot, I just want to because I'm in it and I want to look good in my movie. I don't want to look okay, which is how I look now. There's a lot of reasons to reshoot it, but one of the ones in my heart, to be completely honest, is that I would like to look cool in my own movie. I don't think that's weird. Right now I'm in post, which has been an interesting thing. We are we only have like a week between wrapping and the cutoff date to be accepted by South by Southwest. So we have been desperately trying to edit a cut of the movie in like a week, which is very difficult for a lot of reasons. Many of them perhaps obvious. But as we go along, we found this guy to edit it. My producer loves him, and he's been doing a very rough cut, and it's been very exciting to see my movie. My movie was shot over the course of 2 years. It jumps around from scene to scene, and in my head, I've always believed in it, but actually seeing it and seeing like, oh, it jumps between these two stories, and it feels natural. Very satisfying that worked out. Until you see it, it's all conceptual. It's all an idea in your head, and I trust myself. I spent a long time writing it. I believe that what I was doing made sense, but seeing it was very, very satisfying. In fact, I saw the first 20-minute cut of the first 20 minutes of the movie 2 days ago, and it was the most delightful thing I've ever experienced. It was a true delight to see so much work. And yeah, it's a rough cut. The rough cut sucks. Straight up, no offense to the editor, it's not supposed to be good. It's compared to what it is in my mind and what I'm doing. But to just even see the roughest of rough cuts and to see 20 minutes, 10 minutes of which I'd already seen because it was old. So I saw 10 minutes of it. I saw 3 scenes, and just to see my actors act, and the whole thing come together and make sense. It's also that weird movie thing when you spend all day shooting a scene and then you see it. It's 2 minutes and it's over, and you're all these shots that I thought were so beautiful, fly by in 3 seconds. So early cuts, of course, but it's been a very incredible experience seeing it. It's also been kind of crazy that now we have about 30 minutes of the movie cut. My producer called me today. He's like, why don't we just cut a 60-minute version of it and submit that to South by? And I'm like, I guess. I'm happy to get anything into South by and give them an example, and we're so close. But it's hard to get excited about a 60-minute version of your movie that's cut into a week when you've spent 3.5 years making it and $100,000 shooting it. It's hard to be yeah, let's throw some shit together and release the roughest of shitty cuts and let the world see that. Some part of me is but I understand on a professional level it's a good enough movie that a shitty version of it is enough to get into a film festival. I think so, and I'll put my money where my mouth is and know in a week. So we're gonna cut my producer calls it the 80% good version, which I think is a very polite name for it. And so we're gonna shoot the 80%. We're gonna cut the 80% version. Hopefully submit it. Right now it's 3 a.m. It's due by 9 p.m. West Coast time, midnight East Coast. So we've got 14 hours to cut 30 minutes of a movie. Let's go. It's been really odd because I don't want to talk shit on my editor because I'm happy to be working with him. He's been working really hard. I really love what he's done. But I was under the understanding that this guy would just lay out the scenes. Just they call it an assembly cut, where it's just a master and 2 leads, and you cut it in the most basic way. And then I would come back in, or I wanted to hire an editor that I've picked and consulted with and talked to about the movie, and they would come in, or I would, and we would make it an artsy, beautiful masterpiece. But you start with a thing where the dialogue makes sense and goes back and forth, and you hire someone to do that so you don't burn out. That's the principle. And so I've been seeing this assembly cut, but I think the guy's been really excited, so he's been trying to take a lot of liberties, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did this and this? And I think that's really cool, and I think what he's done is cool, but at the same time, having a heterosexual man edit my lesbian movie and take their own liberties and be like, isn't this sexy? And it's like very much a heterosexual man's idea of what like a sexy lesbian is, which is, uh, let's just say not sapphic. I think that's the nicest way to put it. We skipped the foreplay, which, come on, man. So it's been very, it's been a weird experience seeing this like beautiful lesbian movie I shot with these queer people, and we like came together and we like shot this like very beautiful like intimate thing that like means a lot to us, and then to see a random guy I've never met, I mean, like who's like an old like a I don't, based on his editing, I would say like a 40-year-old straight dude who's never met a lesbian in his life, who's also into vaporwave. No offense, but come on now. What year is it? And was it ever cool? No. So seeing a cut of like my most, this is something that means the world to me, edited by like a straight dude with vaporwave on it. It was and he was like, "Oh my God, do you love it?" And I was like, "It was cute, you know." I wasn't gonna shit on it. Like I thought he was just messing around. But then he sent me another cut, and it was like in the movie, and I was like, "I gotta be real with you now. Like, I do not want you. I want you to just do an assembly cut. That's what I want you to do. I hired you to do an assembly cut. It's cool that you're wasting time making these like whatever you're doing, but." You know, it's weird because I'm a really nice guy and I play dumb a lot. Like on set, I'm always like, on set, I'm the nicest guy in the world. But like, I'm getting to the point now where like not to be like a dick or anything, but like when I ask someone to do something, and they do something different, I'm like really annoyed. I don't know. I know that's cool. I'm always patient with people. When I'm like, I just need an assembly cut, and they're like, look, I made a heterosexual cut of your lesbian movie. I'd be like, okay, like that's just something you did? Like someone like paid you to do a job and you like on your own like cut like Madonna music to like, I don't know, it was like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to discourage people from taking creative initiative, but I also like am paying them by the hour to do something specific, and it sounds like they're doing something that I had a reaction to. But then again, they're like a nice person who's helping me. I'm not talking shit on them. It's a difficult line because I want to talk about what was a very unique experience of being like a lesbian and writing something very intimately lesbian, and like random situation coming up. So like a heterosexual dude took his take on it, and like my very weird reaction to that. I think that's a very interesting thing, like experience I had. I don't think anyone else, like that's not a thing that happens to normal people. But I want to do that without shitting on the guy who did it, and like hopefully I succeeded at that. If not, I apologize. So I appreciate your work and thank you for working with me. And I'm just trying to talk about what it's like to be me. One other thing, I mean, there's so much going on. It's funny to get so lost on that for so long, but I'm talking. Yeah, just like the editing process is so interesting because I've always said the three, like production, pre-production, and post-production are like, how do I put it? I always say anticipation, ecstasy, and regret. And to be honest, this movie went so well, I was like, I can't imagine regretting anything. But no matter how good it is, when you watch the same footage over and over again and you had an objective, you're like the most little things are like what I think about. Like I'll see this movie and it'll be like amazing takes of these actors and shot incredibly well, and like these like cool little improv moments that they gave me that are like perfect in the movie. And I'll just be like in my head, I'll be like, oh, like that cigarette like isn't in like the exact right place. Like, and that's what I see. And it's like, it's so human and so frustrating to see this movie that objectively exceeded all expectations, and no one else in the world would notice that like a cigarette didn't ash at the right time, or that one of the vapes like looked a little more like tobacco than weed, than like I wanted to look like weed, and it looks like it could be weed or tobacco. And I'm like watching it and I'm just like, in my head I'm like, and like it's like it's the human brain when it looks at something that like it conceptualized. It like regret is just part of editing. Like little itty bitty errors in these like perfect scenes are like what I see when I watch it. I'm so fucking. It's impossible to be happy. It's impossible to be happy. Yeah, so that's what post has been like for me. Also, I've been editing a lot of improv, and that's a weird experience. I did a scene with Matt Chrisman from Chapo Trap House, and within 48 hours of him doing the scene with me, he had health problems, and I think I heard he's talking, but they don't want to talk about what happened, and it's not my business. I don't care. But it has been very strange to meet my hero on like the day that like he had some crazy shit go down, like, and editing it, like, it's not like, I mean, we're making art, like it's not a big deal, but it is sort of surreal, like thinking about that he's in the hospital and like what and like this was I don't know. It's like with all respect to Matt, who like was I like thank God like thank you from the bottom of my heart that you had so much anxiety and you still took the time to work on my movie. Like a lot of people wouldn't have done that. Like I can't ever like thank you like for like honoring your commitment when I was in a tough spot and like thinking that my movie was worth like honoring your commitment to. It honestly like from the bottom of my heart. Matt Christman did me a solid out of nowhere just because he respected what I was doing, and I could never, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it was really fucking cool of him, and it's been really intense. Like, and it was very intense, like meeting him, and then like I think it's intense for everyone that he has had some health issues, and it sounds like he's doing better. But like, it's like just like editing's weird. Like the other part of my movie, like not to get too real on it, but my friend who shot the first half of the movie, the reason he didn't shoot the second half of the movie is because he died of COVID last year, and like that's life, you know. I've dealt with it. Like I miss you, my friend. But just when I'm watching my movie, there's so many things that I'm seeing that no one else will ever see. I'm like seeing a shot he did with his hands, like in a very way that was specific to him that like he taught me how to do. That was sort of like one of our like it was like a fake crane shot technique we do. And he like put these twists on it. It was like the most beautiful thing ever. And when I'm watching my movie, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing like you know all kinds of things attached to it, and like it's very strange now. It's very humbling, in fact, to like have this thing be an idea forever and now just be like 20 minutes of like, oh, that was over, cool. Like it's amazing how many years of my life have gone into what is 20 minutes of entertainment. You know, like it's almost absurd. Like when you think about. It's a good thing that I spent so much time on the script and the words mean a lot to me because I can't imagine spending this much time and putting this much heart into something and then having something at the end that wasn't like meaningful to you. Like a lot of my friends make comedy. A lot of my friends make straightforward like normal movies, I guess you would call them. And I mean they love it and they have a different process. I'm sure their relationship with it is like vastly different. And some of them get paid money for it, unlike me, who is made $0 and is in the hole for it and dealing with unemployment. You do not get paid to make an independent movie. In fact, the money comes out of your pocket along the way. Maybe one day I'll break even. That's the goal. You know what I mean? Like, you don't make independent movies to try to get rich. I've never heard of anyone does. And in fact, since I've started talking to actual Hollywood producers who know how much, I've heard, I won't say names of movies, but I've heard how much a movie that I've loved and that like is a famous movie that's won shit tons of award. I've heard exactly how much the directors have gotten for those and the writers. And like I've never like if you want like I've known a movie that won Sundance. You can stream on Amazon. Is like critically acclaimed and a legendary film. That the director spent like 3 years of his life in sweat and tears, and like he was the best case scenario, and he walked with like 80K, and that's like a dream story. To make 80K is like if you win the Palme d'Or, you might make that much. In real life, you're lucky if you break even and no one makes any money, and that's not what I'm in it for. It would be cool, wouldn't it? Right? Like, wouldn't it? Then I get to make another movie, maybe pay for some insulin. But I digress. Like, I think my original point was I don't know. I lost my train of thought. The point is, I'm going to be broke my whole life. Number one. And number two, watching a movie. Oh, yeah, my point was it's important to make things that mean something to you if you're going to put a lot of time into it. Because you're going to die. And you better do something that matters before you die. I mean, maybe you don't need to. Maybe I'm the only one who's like that. It doesn't seem like anyone else is desperately writing manifestos about the meaning of life. And spending every second of their life trying to execute them. Although I don't know why they're not. Everyone I know, it seems like they want to make art, but then you ask them to make art and they want to, and they don't. It's a thing everyone says they want to do and nobody actually wants to do. Not nobody. Like, some of the people I've worked with on this movie were fucking oomfies, you know, like true oomfies in the goddamn truest sense of that word. And hopefully we'll make a million movies more with all the cool people. But like true artists are actually rare. And when you are one, and I think I can claim that now. I could always claim that. You can say a lot of shit about me, but I have a body of work. I have made every form of art, and I put my heart and soul into it, and I put in the hours, and I'm a true artist. And meeting other true artists is rare, and I've had the fortunate experience to make this movie with some amazing true artists, especially almost my entire cast. Sasha Bugs and Antoine, just being around people who were true fucking artists, fucking I live for inspiration. You know what I mean? Like I just all I've ever wanted in life are muses and meeting people that like I go home at the end of the day and say like I fucking want to be like that person. Like hopefully I am like that person. Hopefully I made that person's life better with like every one of my actors, even the ones who only had one or two lines. Like Chanel Hart had never acted before in her life, as far as I know, and just her passion for what we were doing, like, and her reaction to it, and like the conversations we had after about it, like, and how much it seemed to mean to her and me too. Um, I don't know. I just had fabulous experiences with everyone. I've gone 15 minutes, we'll call it, but that's where I'm at with the movie. I've got a lot more to say about it for sure, but certainly, you know, a lot of work to go. But we're so close. Every time I see 5 more minutes of it, it is like crack. And my editor sent me like 5 more minutes today, and I was like, one, how'd you do 5 minutes in a day? We have 90 minutes to do in the next 24 hours. Like, what's the deal? My eyebrows have not grown back. I am so sad. The makeup person talked me into shaving half my eyebrows off, and I said yes because I trusted her. And she was a cool girl. I like her, but I can't believe someone shaved my eyebrows off. How did I let that happen? As soon as she did it, I'm like, why did you just shave my eyebrows off? You don't do that to a woman. Like, you don't shave a woman's eyebrows ever. But here I am with half an eyebrow. It is weird. I loved my eyebrows. They don't grow back ever. That's what they say about eyebrows, right? Or they don't grow back the same. I will that was like getting a tattoo I didn't want. I digress. An extra 60 seconds of video putting me over the 15-minute mark so you could bitch about my weird eyebrows. But now that I'm looking at myself in the camera, it is very weird. It is weird not to have eyebrows. They usually would go, as you know, all the way to here. They say they grow back, but I can feel them, but I cannot see them. Ugh. Anyway, no hate on whoever did that, but ugh, I can't believe I let someone shave my eyebrows. That was the night anyway, have a good night.